Hey, Terry, how are you?
Good morning, Bryon. How are you today?
I'm doing great, thank you. So, Terry Marie Gleaton, you are a three-time Icon EXP agent. Now, normally you're out of Stockbridge, Georgia, which I think is just south of Atlanta. But today, do you want to tell them where you are and what you're doing?
So I am normally in hot Atlanta, but today I am in 115 degrees, sunny Las Vegas, Nevada, here supporting the amazing, the NAACP Lifetime Achievement winner, Ronnie DeVoe with New Edition. They are doing their residency at Wynn, so I flew out to support my sister, Dr. Marvetta Bozeman, as they celebrate their union and their 2 years with EXP or 3 years with EXP.
That's right. Those of you who don't know, Ronnie DeVoe is an EXP agent. So definitely go out and have fun tonight. I know you're going to the concert. That's going to be amazing. And thanks, by the way, for on this trip making time for us. So you and I had a great conversation the other day, and I want to dive into it because you had some tremendous things that I think are really going to help a lot of agents. You're about 85% on the list side in your business, right? Roughly thereabouts. You talked about this idea, this 5-step agent success guide. Can you give us a high level of what that is, and then let's dive in on a couple of those?
Sure. Just for me, I think that most agents never start out their business like a business. They just start out kind of lost. I got a license and let me just get a client. And to me, it's positioning your business strategically as a business owner and looking at yourself as a CEO is really the difference between successful agents and struggling agents.
Yeah.
Successful agents, they know that they are running a multi-million-dollar operation and they function at that level. So as a new agent or even a seasoned agent that needs to relaunch, reestablish yourself in the market, I believe in my proprietary training that I call the Agent Success Guide. And yes, those 5 steps are: number one, branding. You heard Success talk about it. We hear about it all the time. But I think a lot of people don't even know what branding really is. They think it's a logo and a color, but it's so much different than that. Step 2 is dominating your CRM. If you don't learn how to make money while you sleep, you will work until the day you die. Okay. So our CRM is pivotal to our success. It's automation. It's so many amazing things that put your business on autopilot. And number 3 to my success guide, to me, this is everything for my business, and that is my success circle. And we'll dive into that a little on. I know we had a lot of conversation about that. Step 4 is prioritizing your toolbox and your systems. Okay. And then number 5 is relaunching your business or launching your business, and whatever that looks like, whether that's, for the first time, whether that's every 6 months, whether it's every month. Hey, it's July and let me reintroduce myself, but you got to launch your business.
Yeah. I love that framework. Boiled down to its simplicity. Here's our business in a nutshell. Our business in a nutshell is speaking with and maintaining an ongoing dialogue about real estate, building relationships with enough people that the percent of people who are going to do a real estate transaction that year and are going to do it with you is enough to help you achieve whatever goals you have, right? And most of us start out with just a very limited, what we call sphere of influence. Some people call it center of influence, whatever you like to call it. The people who know you, who know that you're in real estate, that's what I would refer to as your sphere of influence. Most of us don't have a huge one when we start out. And so
That's
the
correct.
question is, how do you feed that? How do you feed that beast? How do you grow that sphere of influence? And then, as you grow it, here's the double-edged sword. Yeah, you're growing your sphere of influence, but now you're also growing the amount of work it takes to maintain those relationships, right? And maintain that ongoing communication. And so I want to talk about both of those in that order, because you had this concept that I'd never heard it called your success circle before. Can you talk a little bit? What do you mean by success circle? What does that mean to you?
So I think that a lot of times we think our clients are our success circle, and they are not. right? Those are the people that are in your sphere. Those are, in your database. Those are who you're trying to get to do business with you, to trust you, to like you, and hire you as their realtor. But the success circle is something so much greater to your business. It's the people that you surround around you. Okay. These are everybody to you that when the chips are down, these are the people that are going to pour into you and make sure you are successful. They're the coaches, they're the mentors, they're the organizations that you're a part of. They're your brokerage when you are connected to the right people and plugged in. They're your lenders and your vendor partners. They're your marketing experts. They're the nonprofits that you go out and volunteer. They're the organizations, the professional organizations that you're a part of. They're the municipalities and the schools that you volunteer in. It's all of those people that will grow your business for you. They want the best for you, not just from you.
Yeah. And you said something about this that really resonated with me. And that is, be true to your heart.
Yes.
Like, look inward and be true to your heart. Say more about what you meant by that, because I think that's a really important thing that a lot of people get hung up on. I've got to go do this that's not authentically me. I've got to go do that that's not authentically me. But that's not your pathway. That's not what you're saying.
Yeah, we had a jovial conversation. You're not going to find me on TikTok. You're not going to find me, doing the Cabbage Patch Man in front of new construction. But all of those things are great. Those things, that's what's so amazing about our industry, is that we can find our niche and run with it, right? But when you have a success circle, listen, there's only one of you. That's your superpower right now. It doesn't matter what everybody else is doing. You need to be true to who you are. You need to look at yourself in the mirror and say, why did I get this real estate license? Why am I crazy enough to sell earth? And know what you're passionate about. What is your why? Why are you in this space? And when you are authentic to yourself, you project that energy and you start attracting the right people that I believe God assigned you. All right. We all have God-given talents that are just, it's just ours. It's our superpower. But you have to rely on that inner voice to go out and make the right connections. Okay. So when I say, dive into who you are and what you want, you have to be honest. And here's another thing that a lot of people won't tell you: be selfish for once. Be selfish about what you want out of life. What's driving you? What do you want? When do you want it? What do you need to get it? And why other people should care about those things? Because see, this is what's going to differentiate you from, for me, the 17,000 agents in Atlanta. Okay. How do I consistently, along with my husband, do Icon, right? How have we been able to achieve that with 17,000 agents right here in Metro Atlanta? Well, it's because we are authentic to ourselves, right? And we align ourselves with professionals and professional organizations that share those same values. And that success circle drives our business.
And I want to dig into a specific one because I want to get really tactical on this. But there's a great book, I think it's called Give by Adam Roach, and he talks about the alignment of your personal outcome desires with the world and how you align that with your business. And listen, you can go burn up the phone on FSBOs and expireds, and that is awesome. That is awesome. Do that. You can go create a geographic farm of a subdivision, and that is awesome. What you're talking about is another form of lead generation strategy, and that is aligning your personal desires and passions with your business and being authentic to what you want to achieve. Because a lot of us, we tell ourselves, I'm going to change the world just as soon as I have a break from my business. Just as soon as one of these days at 2 a.m. I'm going to help the world. But that doesn't always happen. And yet you're able to make it part of just doing your business. And so you talked about this Women's Entrepreneur Opportunity Project of Georgia, which is one of the areas that you do this. Can you give us some kind of practical, tactical advice? How do you be purposeful and be true and be authentic to that organization's purpose, and also to use those opportunities to build your business?
So thank you for bringing up WEOP. It's a nonprofit organization that I showed up to give, right? It's it helps women of color that are in business, that are entrepreneurs, that want to pursue that goal and that avenue of being a successful entrepreneur. So just a little background, I am biracial. I am unapologetically African American and Native American. And I wanted to align with organizations where I could see women like me winning. Okay. And so I stumbled upon this organization about 10 years ago, and fast forward to today, and I chair their advisory board. It puts me in a position to speak in front of large audiences. Um, they connect with me on all levels, helping me with government contracting and many other areas of my business. Because Bryon, of course, as you know, Calvin and I also own a property management company, a construction company, a real estate school. So we don't look at ourselves as a real estate agent. We look at ourselves as business owners, right? So we need other CEOs in our circle to understand the value of what we bring to the marketplace and help us expand in that area. So I wanted to help other women understand the value of having equity, having home ownership, using real estate as a vehicle to build wealth. Real estate creates more millionaires than any other industry on the whole planet. It doesn't matter if you are an NFL player or a chemist, you're going to find wealth in investing in real estate. So I found passion in connecting with an organization like WEOP to educate women and minorities about the importance of creating that home ownership, and creating it as soon as possible, because prices are only going up. All these people that are waiting for the market to crash, listen, agents, you better start talking to them, because the equity starts the day that they get the keys to that house. So it's kind of just wanting to look at yourself in the mirror again and say, listen, I know my passions. Let me go out and seek organizations that are aligned with my passions, and showing up and being a steward of giving, right? Not showing up in these places as a volunteer. I want to sell a house. Do you want to buy a house? Because that doesn't come across as authentic, right? Just showing up and giving where, God has led you, where your heart desires. And the more you give, I will say, the return is unmeasurable.
Yeah, you said something funny the other day. You said, if you're there to help the puppies, help the puppies, and I think that's right, right? And what's funny is, so we're in this program Fast Cap, right? And everybody gets hung up in their own head with their own head trash about, well, I would pick up that phone, but I feel like I'm going to annoy people, or I would knock that door, but I feel like I'm going to annoy people. And my advice is, well, if you feel like you're going to annoy people, you probably are. So put down the phone, don't knock the door until you can figure out how to bring value. Now, if you're going door to door in a geographic farm, that value could look like, a market report, a CMA for the neighborhood, right? The value that you're bringing, it's the same thing. It's just a different form of value. And the concept here is provide value to create that relationship with people, and they will use you. You do that enough times, not everybody, but enough people are going to use your services in real estate. So I want to kind of switch gears and talk about, and go back now to the second pillar of your 5-pillar strategy, about your CRM. So you've gone out there and you speak regularly at these things. You help people in these organizations and understand what real estate really could mean to them and things like that. And that creates that relationship. How do you then be purposeful about that relationship using your CRM?
So I feel like the CRM is the most undervalued resource a lot of times. And listen, here at EXP, we have KV Core. It is powerful. I've never seen anything like it. I've been licensed. This is my 20th year in business. I don't even know how agents can function without it. They go out and do an open house, and I'm like, well, did you blast it to your database? What do you mean? I'm like, why are you doing an open house if you have not blasted everybody in the neighborhood and everybody in your CRM to let them know to come out and meet with you, right? So when I do these events, first and foremost, I have multiple newsletters going out every month in my CRM. And it's important that you don't put everything together, right? You don't want to do the spaghetti against the wall. Because again, now you're operating on a higher level, right? So you are functioning as not just a CEO, but you are also the COO, right? You're the chief operating officer as well of your company. So you have to think that through, right? So if I just went and spoke at a women's conference, I don't want to necessarily send them my open house flyer. Right. I want to thank them for allowing me to speak at that event. I want to send them valuable information, maybe a summary of what was taught from all of the speakers at this conference. I want to send them tips and tricks on expanding their business. All of these things, you know what they are? They're value to them, not value to me. Right.
That's right.
You want people to open up information that they receive from you and be appreciative that they received it, right? You don't want to send out information and then it's immediate spam, right? And then no one's looking at your information anymore. And it's important that you do that, right? Here's another reason why. Real estate is fascinating to people. Bryon, people love looking at houses. And one of the best things about our CRM is when you put things in there, they're going to get a chance to see houses, and you want them to always see those houses from you. So you never want people to mark you as spam. So in my CRM, I believe I have about 6 newsletters going out. I have Women's Entrepreneur. I have City of Stockbridge. I have My Neighborhood, Eagles Landing Country Club, where I'm always sending out stuff that's happening in the club, the golf things that are happening. I'm also a public official for the City of Stockbridge. I sit on the citywide development board. So I'm sharing things that are coming to the city, exciting times, things that increase property values, things about taxes increasing, whatever is of value to those people in my database. I'm not just going to send that open house flyer to everybody in my database. I'm very, very targeted. I'm very methodical in the information that I deliver. And I know that it makes a difference because I see those open rates, right? And I see those people reaching out to me specifically for what I need them to reach out to me. I give calls of action and all of those things. So it's about leveraging your CRM to do the work that you just know you can't do. You just can't do those things. So you put it in your CRM, set it up. And here's another thing. Set up your CRM properly. Take the time to dominate it. And you're not going to dominate it by watching one video on YouTube. It's going to be a well thought out plan of maybe 90 days. For some of these Gen Zs, it could be 24 hours, But a Gen Xer like me, it took me almost a year to really appreciate the value of everything that KV Core has to offer.
We have tremendous resources within EXP, whether it be Shannon Pyatt or Kamal Deep or others who have just kind of laid out for agents exactly how to use KV Core. There's a ton of great training out there. So plug in to EXP and get that. You mentioned your call to action. Could you give us an example? You and I talked about the hotel one from your counsel position.
Right. So when I always have a call to action. There's no reason for you to be out there posting anything if you're not doing a call to action. So I just want to put that 2 cents out there. If you're out doing a live, but you don't do a call to action and give people a squeeze page or something to click on, you don't know if you have fans or clients, right? And everybody wants to be famous, but baby, famous doesn't get cashed at the bank. So you definitely want to make sure you're giving people an inlet to do business with you, right? So I'll give you an example. I just recently learned of a hotel that is going to be built. As a matter of fact, sitting on the board, we sold the land to a developer. And once it became public record, then I was able to push out an article about that hotel being built in Stockbridge. And I sent it out to everybody in my database. And one of the calls of action that I said was, hey, if you want to know how this may impact your property values, click the no hassle link so I can give you your property value and let's see where it is in 6 months. Do you know how many leads I got from that?
I don't know, but I'm guessing it was a lot.
It was 82 people clicked on the link. So that's a lot different than spamming people with a lot of other information that's not relative. Okay. Yeah. So that's a good example, I would say.
And it also gives you that warm opportunity to reach out, right? It takes the fear out of making that call. And look, there may be some people going, well, but I don't sit on the city council. That's not the point. Listen, I've got right down the road from my neighborhood, we've got a shopping center going in. Do you know what everybody in this 2,000 home area is wondering? What stores are going in there? Because we live in Southwest Austin, kind of removed from the city center. We got to drive into town for certain stores. We're all hopeful that it's going to be this store or that store. We are all wondering, right? And this goes on around all of your communities. So just figuring out what's coming, what's going, all those kinds of things are things that people in that area want to know. All right, we got one more minute, Terri. Last piece of advice for folks in your 5-part framework.
Well, I would say this. Listen, get involved in your community. Find out who your city officials are, your county officials, your state officials. Listen, every congressional member across the United States has a $2 million budget set aside for housing initiatives, okay? Find out who your congressional leaders are, get plugged in, find out if any of that money can come down to you to host housing events, mega open houses, mega home buyer seminars, because every public official's challenge right now is affordable housing. Get in there, get the resources you need from your local government, and go out and have an amazing year. We are halfway through this year. This can still be the best year of your real estate career. But first and foremost, nobody is coming to save you. All right. It doesn't matter how rates are. It doesn't matter what NAR says. Nobody is coming to save you. You've got to save yourself. Okay. Faith without works is dead. You have got to roll up your sleeves in this market, show your value, and show out, family. And that's it.
I love that. You know, one last thing I'm going to brag on you. For those of you out there, Terri used to do her team meeting on Fridays, her team mastermind, and now BAM is a part of that, and we really appreciate that. I wish more people would take these kinds of conversations and use it as a jumping point for their team meetings and their masterminds, because great, speaking of showing out and giving great value, thank you so much. We really appreciate you, Terri.